We all know that Fatal Fury on the Neo Geo from SNK is an awesome fighting game, but how about Fatal Fury on the Sega Genesis? The mighty 16-bit powerhouse, the Mega Drive, makes a fatal mistake. It hurts my ears. What is the color of disappointment? Pretty much every color on screen here. It's not that Fatal Fury is the worst fighting game on the Sega Genesis. There's far worse games, but they happen to be more enjoyable. This is what happens when an excellent game gets ported over to the Sega Genesis in a mediocre fashion, making it something far less than par. Now granted, it's better than fighting masters, but so is smashing your toe with a hammer. When you look at other silly fighting games on the Genesis like Death Duel and Cosmic Carnage for the 32X, they're so cheesy that they're just outrageously fun and likable. They have charm, something that Fatal Fury really lacks on the Genesis. Because this game is so excellent on other game consoles like the Neo Geo, the one that it was made for. And these days, there's so many other ways that you can get Fatal Fury. For the Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, you can easily pass on this one. But what if you had a Genesis back in the 90s? Instead of a Neo Geo, like most of us. Or at least a Super Nintendo. This is also on Super Nintendo. My theory is they tried to make this game look bad so that you would see the value in a Neo Geo. Because for 2D games like this, where the background is as much of a star as the fighters, the Neo Geo pretty much destroyed everything else. And it's not that this game plays poorly on the Genesis, although it's certainly not as nimble and light on its feet as the PlayStation 3 version, which is a port of the Neo Geo version. I think that two of the big arcade fighting games from back in the day, like Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat, came over to the Genesis with nice versions that were playable and fun. And it was forgivable that they weren't as good as the arcade versions. But the beauty of Neo Geo fighting games, and SNK games in particular, is in the details. And when those details are lost, particularly in the background and in the music, the entire game suffers, even if the controls aren't that bad. And we all knew, even back in 1991, that you could have that arcade perfection at home with a Neo Geo game console. If you could talk your parents into spending $1,000 on one, which wasn't going to happen. Wow, that really is some of the worst music I've ever heard in any Sega Genesis game. And like the backgrounds in this game, it's like they were trying to make it do too much and it came up short. Actually, this is one of the best looking levels here. A bit disappointing, to say the least. We know the Genesis can do more. Please reference Musha, Revenge of Shinobi, and countless other games. I think Fatal Fury would have benefited from a 32X port. That could have handled it. And other creative games. How about Fatal Fury versus Cosmic Carnage? That would have been a game cartridge for the ages. It's never too late, though. Sega? SNK? Anyone? Capcom? Please? But not Takara. You can just wait outside.
Ha 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 ha!